Welcome back to Kaulignation, your one-stop shop for all things Kaulig Racing, Dingernation, SVGNation, and all things NASCAR. We have a ton to get to in this video, but before we do, we just want to give a shout out to our channel patrons. Our Patreon is now live, and as of earlier this morning, our latest video went up on the Patreon, which you can find over at patreon.com/Kaulignation. There's a direct link in the description below. Big thank you to our channel sponsors, Lynn over at SVGNation on Facebook and Alex over at Dingernation on Facebook. We really appreciate the support. In this video, we're going to be talking about the official NASCAR 25 release date and why some of the rumblings from it might not be good news. SVG is putting in the work to get better at ovals. We'll tell you how. We'll tell you how he's doing. And there's this odd rumor out there that is gaining steam through fans, at least, that Kaulig could be selling their Xfinity program to Spire and then signing a deal with Ram to go run trucks and eventually run Dodge/Stellantis in Cup. We will tell you if there's any truth behind that whatsoever. But first up, it's our multiple choice question for this video. A simple yes or no. Are you buying the rumors that Kaulig is set to sell their Xfinity program to Spire? Yes or no? Comment down below. And at the tail end of this video, we will talk about how valid those rumors are. Let's start with NASCAR 25, ladies and gentlemen. We had said a couple videos back that we heard that the release date was aiming for September, middle of September, or September 20th, or something like that. Or actually, I think it was September 23rd, 24th. And it turns out they are not going to hit that date. The date for submitting did not get hit once again. They released what some people are calling a teaser trailer, which is not even in-game footage of William Byron. I believe he's at Bristol, coming off the high groove of a turn. You know, they've set the official release date for this game to be in, I believe, the second week of October, basically as the season is coming to an end. I really have nothing positive to say about this, unfortunately. I was once very excited about this game, very excited about the prospect of iRacing and company bringing a NASCAR game to consoles that we could be proud of and play and have a level of realism while playing online. And it appears I hold out hope that they still might do that. The fact that we are now almost in August and have seen no real game footage to this point, the fact that they're waiting until basically the end of the season to release this thing instead of closer to the beginning of the playoffs tells me there's more work to be done. And I know there's already warning signs. All the talk about this being the base level game and the next game, which might not come out the following year, it could be 2 or 3 years down the road, would be a game that builds on top of that. They're trying desperately to lower people's expectations, and for me, that's a warning sign. If this was going to be an issue, you should have taken an extra year in the development process and delayed this thing into 2026. I know people are hungry for a NASCAR game, but at this point, I'm tempted to just return to iRacing. Not really pleased with what I'm hearing in terms of a release date. Not pleased with some of the updates lately. Not pleased with the lack of footage. And while that still hopefully will be a conduit to content for us in the off season, I'm less hopeful now than I was about a month ago. Let's dive into SVG, ladies and gentlemen. He was racing Legends cars. That's right. First of all, SVG is one big dude. I don't know if anybody in the comment section wants to let me know how tall he is. I probably should have researched that before doing this video. But those Legends cars are hard to get into. While I have never driven one, I have sat in one. And let me tell you, it is not an easy time. And SVG is a big dude. I can only imagine how cramped up he was in those cars. But, you know, for me, this is a positive sign. SVG can just say, hey, I'm going to take my learning ovals and my oval craft, which he has to basically completely relearn different, not relearn, just learn a different type of driving style compared to what he was used to in the V8 supercars. He is taking the time away from sim practice, away from OEM sim practice, and away from the racetrack to do it on his own in Legends cars. And it's really cool to see him taking it that serious because that means he's dedicated to getting better by any means necessary. There are a ton of guys that would say, hey, when I'm on your time, when I'm on the team sim or the OEM sim, or we're at practice at the track, or we're one of the teams that are lucky enough to get picked for a random testing session, then yeah, I'm going to put it all into it. But in terms of using any of my personal time to go out there and do various events and to get better on my own time, a lot of drivers will just snub that. They won't go for it. They will pass it up. And I love the fact that SVG is taking the time to put in the work. I was raised under the banner of you get what you put into it, right? Or you get what you pay for. And SVG is putting a lot into it, and I'm super proud of him. I know there's people taking pot shots at, oh, well, he got beat by a kid, Kevin Harvick's kid. Yeah, well, Kevin Harvick's kid's been running those vehicles a lot longer than SVG. SVG was still second place, far ahead of many others. It was a solid run for him, and I hope he continues to pursue racing opportunities like that because it will only make his short track game and his oval game better. Let us know in the comment section down below what you thought of that. And the last topic, there's this rumor going on out there, rather, that Spire is selling all of their truck assets, which to my knowledge is true. That portion of the rumor is true. And then you have Break Hard, a fellow YouTube content creator who is far more accurate than not, is saying expect Spire to go Xfinity racing next year. Now, the problem is the rumor of Kaulig possibly selling their Xfinity program comes from some fan online who never gets anything right. He always talks out of his ass, pardon my language. And hey, I'm all for admitting when you're wrong. I'm all for, being wrong. It happens. But when you're constantly wrong, you are not a viable source of information. And that's what this guy is. And because he has a following, a bunch of people grabbed onto it and connected all the dots and said, oh, it must be happening. Literally days after Ty Norris talked about how important of a gem the Xfinity series is to Kaulig Racing and how they have to figure that out and get it figured out and get those cars running better for the drivers. Not to mention, they have Christian Eckes under contract through next year. They have Daniel Dye under contract either through next year or the year after. They're okay there. I think they might be better downsizing to a two-car operation. If there's an opportunity to bring in a talented driver in a third car, then I think they should explore that as well. But as far as we know, there isn't a shred of truth to Kaulig selling their Xfinity program to Spire, and we don't believe there's any truth that Kaulig is getting a truck team or truck teams and going to race for Ram and eventually switching their cup operations over to Dodge/Stellantis. Now, if I were them, I would absolutely take that jump. But as we've said in several videos, Dodge/Stellantis/Ram's main goal is to lock down Trackhouse Racing with SVG and Connor Zilisch, and they appear set to do so. I would not be angry if Kaulig went there. I just don't believe for a single second they're willing to separate themselves from Richard Childress enough to make a move of that, stature. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications to all. Check out our Patreon for bonus content. There's 3 pieces of content up there. Check it out. You'll like it. SVG's covered, AJ Allmendinger's covered, the NASCAR Charter Drama's covered, and more. That's patreon.com/Kaulignation. It's in the description below. Thank you to our patrons, and we will see each and every one of you in the next video.